Let's talk about fungus gnats today, shall we? If you are watching this video, chances are it's because you either have fungus gnats and you want to know how to get rid of them, or you have no clue what they are and you want to find out about them before you have an issue with them. Welcome back to Willow's Witchy Garden. I'm Willow. Now today I want to talk about fungus gnats. And first, I believe that it's important that we know our enemy. So understanding the life cycle of a fungus gnat is very important. They are hatched from eggs that come in our peat moss. Well, peat moss is generally the largest part of seed starting mixes, commercial or otherwise, even if you make it yourself. We generally start with peat moss. And peat moss is notorious for having fungus gnat eggs in it. So they start as an egg, they hatch. That hatched egg is now larvae. And the larvae feed on your root system of your little seedlings. And they're such tender little plants. Right now, they need all the help they can get to grow. And now we have larvae feeding and sucking the life out of your little seedlings. Now, as those larvae then grow into the pupa stage, they now crawl to the top of the soil where they dry off their little wings, and then they fly up to become adult fungus gnats. And what do those adult fungus gnats do? They fly to the next pot and they land and they lay more eggs. 30 to 200 eggs per little fungus gnat. Well, if we don't stop the cycle before it starts, we get infested with fungus gnats. Now, I didn't really start very well this year with my seedlings. I forgot that I needed to sterilize my first batch of seed starting mix. I don't know why I wasn't thinking, but I wasn't. One of the ways you can start, which is a very simple method, is to just boil water and moisten your seed starting mix before you plant your seeds with the boiling water. Then you can just let your soil cool down before planting in it. The other method that I use is I add to that. Yes, it looks like I'm baking this, but honestly, I put my seed starting mix in a casserole dish that's glass, that's microwave safe. I cover it with plastic wrap and I microwave my soil for 2 minutes per batch. Then I moistened it with the boiling water. I make sure that I'm doing everything now that I can to stop the fungus gnat cycle. But I am still dealing with some fungus gnats, because I did not do that to the first batches of seed starting mix this year. And I'm kicking myself for it because now I'm in a constant battle with fungus gnats. So how do I treat the fungus gnats? Well, first off, you can get these little sticky traps. You can get a sheet of them. I cut mine up. I get a big sheet and then I cut these up into 6 pieces. So I'm getting like 60 sticky traps out of a 20 pack of sheet of the sticky paper. Some of them come with these little sticks. I'm not real fond of the sticks because they come and fall off a lot. So I like to put them on plastic forks and I just open it out and then I put it on the fork like that. And as you can see, I've caught some fungus gnats already. Now I do it in pots when I've just started my seeds, and even after the seedlings come up, I want to make sure that we're still catching any that are flying around. It does stop the cycle somewhat. Now, that's not all we can do. There are other things that we can do to stop fungus gnats. And I'm going to try some more of these methods coming up here. This year, I've already got all my seedlings going, so it's kind of almost too late for me. But I have seen where you can use like play sand, like what you would put in a child's sandbox, and you can lay that on top of your seed starting mix. And so what happens is, as it stops the cycle, because the pupa can't come up through the sand. So even if there's some larvae in there, it would kill them because they can't come through the sand. And at the same point, the adults don't like to lay their eggs on sand. They like more decomposing organic materials or the seed starting mix. They love peat moss, which is where they came from in the first place, right? So we could use the sand on our soil. I've also seen cinnamon. If you lay a layer of cinnamon, they don't like the cinnamon. I would just be more concerned as that cinnamon would constantly get washed off when you're watering, even from bottom watering. But I haven't tried the cinnamon yet. I know it's good for fungus and things like that. It prevents like damping off. So cinnamon is something that, you know, you might think about using. The thing that I use the most is good old-fashioned 3% hydrogen peroxide. You can pick a quart bottle like this up at like Walgreens or Walmart, but I've moved on. I buy gallons now. My last order was 4 gallons, and the 4 gallons I ordered from Amazon, and I paid, I want to say $27 for 4 bottles. But I go through this a lot. The reason I do is because, as you can see from the sticky paper, I still have some. I have fungus gnats. They're flying around me right now. So what I use is I take a gallon jug. I filled this one up recently. I use 4 parts water to 1 part hydrogen peroxide. I put it into the bottle, and this is how I water my plants. Every time I water my plants. The peroxide kills on contact any larvae that's in your soil. So I recommend the hydrogen peroxide totally. Another thing that I've tried is diatomaceous earth, putting that, a coat of that on top of the soil. Once again, though, when it gets wet, I don't think it's serving the same purpose. So I would suggest maybe trying the sand method, and I'm going to be doing that, I think, next season. But for right now, just make sure that you are sterilizing your soil mix, your seed starting mix, before you start to plant your seeds. Just make sure you let it cool, your soil cool down to room temperature before putting the seeds in. Moisten it, so you're going to sterilize it by 2 minutes in the microwave, and then moisten it with boiling water. Let it cool, then plant the seeds. Then, if you still have issues, make sure you put these sticky tabs all over the place. I bought a case like this. There was 20 sheets in here. It also came with 20 twisty wires if you wanted to use those, and a couple of holders for the sticky traps. But like I said, I prefer just using the forks because I see that they hold up better. They don't fall over. I tend to find my sticky traps all over the place because these things just come right out. They just don't hold them very well. But sticky traps are a must because even if you got 1 fungus gnat adult in your room, if you caught it before it had a chance to lay eggs, you've saved your entire crop of seedlings. I have lost several of my very sensitive herbs that I planted this year, and the only thing I can contribute it to is the fungus gnats. Now, I try to water, when they need water, I water with the peroxide solution, but it's really an ongoing battle. Now, most of my plants this year do look really good. I've got lots of tomatoes outside already. I've got lots of peppers in here. But I still have fungus gnats, and I'm still fighting them. So I'm giving you this information so maybe you won't get an infestation of fungus gnats. But if you do, at least now you can combat them. Another thing that you could use, but I think it would end up costing more, is to make a neem oil solution, as it is recommended, the dilution on the bottle that it comes with a little of dish soap in there to make sure that it disperses properly. You would soak and saturate your soil with that. But I'm not sure if that works as fast as the peroxide. So I've tried both, but I found that the peroxide worked a little bit better for me. So you can try whichever method that you would like. But I just wanted to, reach out to you today and give you this information. I'm going to be inserting some photos also of the fungus gnats because some people don't know what I'm talking about. And it gets a little confusing because if we bring in vegetables or fruit into our kitchen, we might get what we call fruit flies. And these are similar but different. Fruit flies, well, they like fruit. Fungus gnats like our seed starting mix. They just love peat moss. Now, the other thing that I think I'm going to try next year is to switch from peat moss to coco coir. I heard that does not have the fungus gnats in it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm thinking about trying that method, sterilizing my entire room, making sure there's no gnats left, and then switching over to coco coir. All we can do is continue the battle. And hopefully we will win. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, hit that thumbs up, give me that like. And if you enjoy the videos, also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Also, you can follow me on Facebook. I have Willow's Witchy Garden over there. And until next time, stay healthy and be blessed.